I was reviewing security footage when I saw my son and his wife in my store at 2 a.m. spray painting gang symbols on the walls. They were staging a fake robbery to claim $2 million in insurance. What they didn't know was that I'd been recording their planning sessions for weeks. Before we start, don't forget to like this video, comment where you're watching from, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a story like this. Have you experienced something like this? Please let me know in the comments. My name is Jenny Morrison. I'm 60 years old from Memphis, and this is the story of how I caught my son and daughter-in-law attempting to destroy everything I'd built over 30 years and sent them both to prison. Morrison's fine jewelry wasn't just a store, it was my redemption. After my divorce at 30, I had nothing but debt and determination. I started with a small counter at the Memphis flea market, selling vintage pieces I'd restored myself. Every penny went back into inventory. I ate ramen for 2 years, slept in the back of my van, worked 18-hour days. But piece by piece, customer by customer, I built something real. By 2024, Morrison's occupied prime real estate on Union Avenue, 3,000 square feet of carefully curated elegance. We weren't the biggest jewelry store in Memphis, but we were the most trusted. 3 generations of families came to us for engagement rings. Local celebrities bought their red carpet pieces from my custom collection. The Memphis police chief's wife was a regular, as was the mayor's daughter. Trust, that was our real inventory. My son Robert had worked in the store since high school, learning to identify stones, repair settings, charm customers. He was supposed to inherit it all. I'd trained him myself, teaching him that every piece tells a story, every customer deserves respect, every transaction builds reputation. For 20 years, I believed he understood. He'd stand beside me during Christmas rushes, matching my energy, calling out, "Mrs. Morrison, line 2," in the same rhythm his father used to before the divorce. But when he married Kayla 3 years ago, something shifted. She was flashy, fake eyelashes, designer handbags she couldn't afford, always talking about what her friends had, what lifestyle she deserved. She'd sit in the store scrolling through Instagram, commenting on celebrity jewelry, saying things like, "We could sell so much more if we just modernized," or "Your mother's too conservative with inventory." The problem started 18 months ago. Robert came to me with a business proposition. He wanted to expand, open a second location in Germantown where the real money lived. Kayla had run the numbers, he said, showing me spreadsheets that looked impressive but felt wrong. The projection assumed we'd triple our high-end sales without any justification. The loan terms were predatory. The proposed location was a cursed spot where 3 businesses had failed in 5 years. "Mom, you're thinking too small," Robert said, Kayla nodding beside him like a trained seal. "Morrison's could be a chain. Memphis, Nashville, maybe even Atlanta." I refused. We were successful because we were careful, personal, trusted. Expansion for ego's sake had killed better businesses than ours. Robert's face darkened in a way I'd never seen before. Kayla muttered something about old people afraid of success. That's when things started going wrong. Inventory counts were off. Security codes were accessed at odd hours. Our insurance company received anonymous complaints about unsafe conditions that triggered inspections. Small things, but consistent, like someone was testing our systems, looking for weaknesses. Then came the October break-in, or what appeared to be one. Someone had forced the back door, spray-painted crypts on the wall, and stolen exactly $47,000 worth of gold chains. The security system had mysteriously failed. The cameras showed nothing but static. The police investigated but found no leads. Insurance paid out, but our premiums doubled. "Maybe it's time to sell, Mom," Robert suggested the next week, "before something worse happens." Something about that break-in bothered me. The thieves took only gold chains, the easiest items to fence, but ignored the Rolex display 3 feet away. They spray-painted gang signs, but spelled Crips wrong, writing CRPIS instead. No actual gang member would make that mistake. And the security failure was too convenient, happening exactly during the 20-minute window between guard shifts. I started paying attention to details I'd previously ignored. Robert had keys to everything, knew the security codes, understood the guard schedules. Kayla had been asking strange questions lately about insurance policies, coverage limits, how claims were verified. She'd even befriended our insurance agent's secretary, taking her to lunch, pumping her for information. The second incident happened in December. This time, someone tried to break into the safe but failed, triggering the alarm. By the time police arrived, the would-be thieves were gone. But they'd left evidence, a crowbar that looked exactly like the one from our maintenance closet, and footprints in the dust that matched Robert's distinctive Nike sneakers, the ones with the worn left heel from his old basketball injury. I didn't confront him. Instead, I installed hidden cameras. Not the visible security system everyone knew about, but tiny, motion-activated devices I bought with cash and placed myself after hours. I changed the safe combination without telling anyone, and I started recording. What I captured over the next 2 months was heartbreaking and infuriating. Late-night conversations between Robert and Kayla in the store, thinking they were alone. "The old woman's insurance is worth more than the business," Kayla said one night, examining our diamond collection. $2 million payout versus maybe $800K if she sells. "We need to be careful," Robert replied. "Make it look professional, like real criminals." "Your mom's getting suspicious," Kayla warned. "We should do it soon, before she changes the policies." They discussed timing, waiting for my annual trip to visit my sister in Florida. They'd stage a violent robbery, complete with destroyed inventory, graffiti, maybe even a small fire for dramatic effect. Robert would play the devastated son. Kayla would comfort me, suggest using the insurance money to retire. They'd already contacted a buyer for the real estate, someone willing to pay cash quickly. I kept recording, kept pretending everything was normal. I smiled at breakfast, complimented Kayla's new nails, asked Robert about his weekend plans, all while building a file that would destroy them both. The worst recording came in early February. They were practicing, actually rehearsing the robbery in my store after hours. Robert showed Kayla how to spray paint to look authentic. They discussed which pieces to steal versus destroy. Kayla suggested breaking the vintage display cases my father had built, the ones that had survived 3 generations. "More damage, more money," she laughed. I knew they'd strike in March when I was supposed to visit my sister Helen in Fort Lauderdale. They'd been confirming my travel dates repeatedly, even offering to drive me to the airport. So I played along, packing my bags, talking about the beach, leaving my itinerary prominently displayed on my office desk. But I didn't go to Florida. I checked into a hotel 2 blocks from the store under a fake name. I'd already contacted Detective Ray Thompson, an old friend from my divorce days who'd become head of Memphis property crimes. I showed him the recordings, the evidence, the planned date. He was disgusted but not surprised. He'd seen family betrayals before. "We need them in the act," Ray said. "Attempted insurance fraud is one thing, executing it is another. Can you handle watching it happen?" I could. I'd watched Robert destroy my trust for months. Watching him destroy property would be easier. We set everything up. Ray's team would be positioned nearby, ready to move when I gave the signal. The hidden cameras would capture everything in high definition. I'd moved the real valuables to a safety deposit box, replacing them with high-quality replicas. Let them destroy fake diamonds while the real ones sat safe in a bank. March 15th came. I was supposedly on a beach in Florida, posting old photos on Facebook to maintain the illusion. In reality, I was in my hotel room, laptop open, watching multiple camera feeds as midnight approached. At 2:03 a.m., they arrived. Robert used his key, disabled the alarm with his code, even waved sarcastically at the security camera he thought was off. Kayla followed, carrying duffel bags and spray paint cans. They wore dark clothes but no masks. Why bother when the cameras were supposedly disabled? I watched them work with ruthless efficiency. Robert smashed the display cases with a baseball bat, the sound of breaking glass echoing through my laptop speakers. Kayla spray-painted gang symbols on the walls, taking photos for authenticity. They stuffed the fake jewelry into bags, not realizing the diamonds were cubic zirconia, the gold was plated brass. The worst moment came when Robert destroyed my father's cases. He knew what they meant to me, knew I'd refinished them myself after Dad died. He smashed them with particular violence, making sure nothing could be salvaged. Kayla cheered him on, already spending the insurance money in her mind. They set a small fire in the back office, just enough to trigger smoke damage claims. Then they scattered the inventory across the floor, making it look like addicts ransacking for quick cash. The finishing touch was Kayla's idea. They'd break the front window from the inside, making it look like the thieves had escaped in panic when the alarm triggered. I texted Ray, "Now." The Memphis police moved in just as Robert was about to throw a brick through the front window. The look on his face when he saw the flashing lights, confusion, then fear, then rage, was almost worth the betrayal. Kayla tried to run out the back but found more officers waiting. They were both on the ground in handcuffs within minutes. I walked over from the hotel, still in my pajamas and robe, playing the confused mother. "Officers, what's happening? I got an alert about my store." I let Robert see me, let him think I'd just arrived. "Mom," he shouted, "this isn't what it looks like." "It looks like you're robbing my store," I said, allowing confusion and hurt to color my voice. The officers didn't know I was acting. Ray had kept that information contained. "We were checking on it," Kayla screeched. "We heard about a break-in." "Then why," Detective Thompson asked, approaching with an evidence bag, "were you spray painting the walls?" The police photographer was already working, documenting everything. The staged crime scene, the tools they'd brought, the fake gang signs. Robert kept trying to make eye contact with me, seeking some kind of maternal salvation. I gave him nothing but devastation. At the station, I was brought in as the victim. Ray interviewed me separately, letting me play the shocked mother for the official record while knowing the truth. Meanwhile, Robert and Kayla were in separate interrogation rooms, each being shown the security footage they didn't know existed. The hidden cameras had captured everything, not just that night, but weeks of planning. Their practice runs, their conversations about insurance fraud, their jokes about my naivety. When confronted with the evidence, Kayla broke first, trying to pin everything on Robert. He retaliated by claiming it was all her idea, that she'd manipulated him. The charges were devastating. Attempted insurance fraud, commercial burglary, arson, conspiracy, and destruction of property. The fact that they'd used Robert's insider knowledge made it worse, aggravated circumstances, the prosecutor called it. The insurance company, grateful I'd prevented a massive fraudulent payout, provided their own lawyers to pursue civil charges. The trial was swift. The video evidence was undeniable. Their own words condemned them. Robert's lawyer tried to argue emotional distress, claimed I'd been an absent mother, that the business pressure had broken him. But the jury saw through it. The planning, the rehearsals, the calculated cruelty of destroying my father's cases, it all painted a picture of greed, not grief. Robert got 7 years. Kayla got 5. The judge, a woman who'd bought her daughter's engagement ring from my store, was particularly harsh in her sentencing remarks. "You didn't just try to steal money," she said. "You tried to destroy your mother's life's work, her legacy, her trust. The emotional violence of this crime exceeds its financial impact." The store reopened after 3 weeks of repairs. The community rallied around us. Customers sent flowers, competitors offered inventory on consignment, the local news did a segment on family-owned businesses surviving betrayal. Sales actually increased, people wanting to support a local institution that had survived such cruelty. I replaced the destroyed cases with new ones, but kept a piece of the original wood, framing it with a plaque. Built by James Morrison, 1952. Destroyed by Robert Morrison, 2024. Survived by Jenny Morrison, forever. It hangs in my office, a reminder that some things can't be rebuilt, only remembered. The hardest part was visiting Robert in prison. He'd lost weight, his swagger replaced by a hollow desperation. "I'm sorry, Mom," he said, but his eyes were still calculating, still looking for an angle. "When I get out, maybe we can start over." "No," I said simply. "You didn't just rob my store, Robert. You robbed me of my son. The boy I raised wouldn't have done this. That person is gone, and you killed him." Kayla never apologized. She sent a letter through her lawyer demanding I pay for her defense, claiming I'd entrapped them. I didn't respond, but I did send the letter to the insurance company's legal team. They added mail fraud to her charges. I'm 61 now, still running Morrison's fine jewelry, still working the counter myself most days. I hired 2 new employees, both young women putting themselves through college, both hungry for knowledge the way Robert should have been. I teach them everything, holding nothing back, because I've learned that blood doesn't guarantee loyalty, and family isn't always who you're born to. The hidden cameras are still there, now part of our official security system. Every employee knows about them, signs a disclosure acknowledging them. Trust but verify, I tell them. Love but lock your doors. And never, ever assume that sharing DNA means sharing values. Robert will be eligible for parole in 4 years. Kayla gets out sooner, maybe 2 years with good behavior. They're banned from the store, from contacting me, from coming within 500 feet of any business I own. But I know they'll try something when they're released. Criminals always do, especially ones who think they're owed something. I've prepared for that too. New security, new safeguards, and a will that leaves everything to a scholarship fund for criminal justice students. Robert won't get a penny, won't get the building, won't even get my father's tools. He'll get what he gave me, nothing but broken glass and spray-painted walls. The store thrives. Customers still come, still trust, still celebrate life's moments with jewelry that means something. Every engagement ring I sell, every anniversary gift I help choose, every repair I complete is a small victory over the night Robert tried to burn it all down. Sometimes late at night when I'm doing inventory, I think about the son I lost. Not the man in prison, but the boy who used to help me polish silver on Sunday mornings, who knew every customer's name, who promised to make Morrison's a Memphis legend. That boy died somewhere between high school and Kayla, between ambition and greed, between love and entitlement. But Morrison's fine jewelry survived. It survived divorce, recession, pandemic, and betrayal. It will survive long after Robert's sentence ends, long after the security footage becomes obsolete, long after the last piece of broken glass has been swept away. Because some things are stronger than family bonds. Things like integrity, determination, and the absolute refusal to let anyone, even your own son, destroy what you've built with your own hands.